I'm Rhett.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're the House Dads. Because we're dads who sell houses.
But we're also husbands, business owners, sports freaks, Christians.
Friends, marketing nerds, TV show bingers, and so many more things.
Like so many of you, we're just trying to do it all. We're trying to do it well.
And that's what we're here to talk about.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to House Dads, episode 36. We're going to be talking about something really practical today. Something that no matter what season of life that you're in, what stage you're in, it's going to help you and you're going to be able to implement today.
Yeah, hopefully the title, 10 Ways, you're like, ooh, 10, that number sometimes it gets people to click it.
Right.
So hopefully you click this and you're listening.
Might be here for the first time.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking about ways to get your time back. You hear it all the time. We can easily use kids as an excuse or whatever stage of life you're in. You hear it, I just don't have enough time. Wish I had more time.
Right.
And I thought about it because, school just started back up. Madison, my 5-year-old, just started kindergarten, and she starts earlier now. The schedule used to be she had to get there at 9. We had to drop her off at 9.
Right.
So I would get to, I would help her get ready. I would go but I wouldn't get to the office until like 9 or 9:30.
Right.
I'm like, man, I wish I just had more time.
Get a late start.
Right?
Yeah.
So now she's got to be there at 7:20, 7:30.
That's a big change.
It's a big change.
Yeah.
It gets me to the office like an hour earlier.
Right.
So like I was pumped.
Right.
But 1 or 2 weeks in, I'm like, I still find myself sometimes saying, man, I really wish I had more time. But I just got an hour.
Yep.
What am I complaining about? But also, I gained a little more time at the office, but also lost a little time in the mornings, like with going to work out, having quiet time. So it was a shuffle of some sort. But
did she change what time she woke up in the morning, or she was still waking up early anyway?
It's kind of frustrating. We've tried for 5 years to get her to sleep past 6 o'clock. And then as soon as school starts, when we got to leave at like 7, she's sleeping later. And I got to go wake her up. I'm like, what the heck?
Kids, man.
Yeah.
The best.
So I do think kindergarten's kicking her butt in that sense of like she's got to wake up, but like be active a lot sooner.
Right.
It's eating her up a little
bit. Yeah,
but.
It's tough. Yeah, nap time has been longer at the Rishu household, and the boys have been sleeping in more. Now that they're at school, it definitely takes it out of them.
Are they adjusting well, or is it kind of back to normal?
Lucas, the 2.5-year-old, a little bit less of a positive adjustment.
Okay.
He's struggling through it, but he's making it.
Right.
But we're only a couple weeks in, so I think the more that we get with this consistency, it'll get a little better.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I said all that to say, we can have whatever stage we're in, whatever time we're given, we can oftentimes not use it efficiently or feel like we don't have enough. So that's really what this episode is going to be about. But, to kind of give you the floor, do you feel like you got this on lock? Do you feel like you're efficient with your time with all the things you have on your plate?
I feel like I'm pretty efficient, but can do better.
Yeah.
I do juggle a lot of plates. Some days I do better than others, and sometimes I feel like I got it down better than others.
Yeah.
Definitely could use improvement. And a lot of things as we were preparing for this, I'm like, man, I've fallen off and not doing that consistently. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is sometimes I implement it and sometimes I don't. And I notice the difference in my efficiency every time I let it fall off.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I'm the same way. We do have some credibility here teaching you how to do this.
Right.
We do some things that work. We definitely have some areas to improve, but that's what we're going to be talking about is how to get that time back. So at the end of the day, you don't have to say, I wish I had more time, that you feel good about, having a productive day. But you may have heard this quote, but it's something that is, to run your business off of is a good principle. If it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And that's basically, it's harder than you think because it involves protecting your time.
Yep.
Right? So first of all, you have to make your schedule, add it. But as you know, temptations and curveballs are thrown our way throughout the day that knock us off our schedule.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brandon, you're a realtor. I'm going to list all of the job descriptions Brandon has.
Let me just sit back and listen.
Heartthrob. No, he's a realtor, husband, father, pastor. He's a broker, owner. Like so many things that require and pull of you.
Right.
Like, what kind of curveballs does a typical day look like for you?
I think that the hard thing is like one of the things that I pride myself in to my wife, to my boys, to my agents, to the students that I get to pastor and stuff is that I'm available to them.
Right.
Well, I can't be available to everybody all the time immediately.
Right.
And so I think the thing is setting proper expectations and and giving myself grace to realize that I'm going to tell everybody, you're always going to get a call back from me, and you're always going to get a response back from me, but it just may not be immediately. Right? And because there's no way that I can be efficient if I'm continually stopping what I'm doing to answer a question, to come off of what I'm doing in that moment. I'm never going to be able to give my all to one thing because of all the hats that we wear.
Yeah.
And so it's just prioritizing, and it's some things that we're going to get into in a minute. But, man, sometimes, like I said, I do it better than others. Just yesterday I was preparing for some stuff, and I needed to be focused on preparing for a message.
Right.
And I allowed a text about, hey, you got to get this in real quickly to knock me off. And then it was like an hour and a half later, and it's coming up to service time, and I haven't done nearly the prep that I needed to do.
Yeah.
And so it's like I didn't prioritize it. If I would have just stuck and put my phone away to be doing what I needed to be doing at that point, I could have finished it and then moved on to my next task. So I don't always get it right.
Yes. So, I mean, there's so many things that can get thrown our way, and I feel like not only just time, but we have to protect our, like, mental focus. Because even if we're like in the middle, we have an hour to do something, if our focus isn't there and, like, something's distracting us, that's eating up what you feel is your time.
Right. And even if you don't stop to do that other thing, if you're thinking about that other thing, you're stealing from that moment where you can't give your all to, you can't give all your attention to it.
And nobody knows your schedule. Like, they're not like, all right, Brandon's definitely doing his time block of this right now, and let's not bother him. It's like, no, they're going to reach out to you when they want to, when it's convenient for them.
Right.
So we have to adjust accordingly.
Right.
So yeah, if we want to do our best at, like, protecting our time and making sure if it's not in our schedule, it doesn't exist, we have to be able to absorb those curveballs and like those things that are thrown our way. Yeah. Right. So as the title promised, we're going to give you 10 extremely practical ways to get your time back.
Right.
And I'm going to start off with a bang that's going to upset a lot of people. You got to, one, wake up early.
Got to.
You may be saying to yourself, I'm just not a morning person. I call bull. I feel like you can be.
Yep.
Right? So if you have a lot of stuff to do during the day, you're probably going to have to wake up and beat the day, right? And when I say beat the day, I mean control it. So oftentimes when we wake up when we want, we feel like the day is controlling us.
Yes.
If we wake up sooner and we do these things that we're going to be talking about, you feel like you control the day. But if you want more time, guess what? You can wake up earlier and give yourself more time.
And the great thing about the morning is nobody is expecting me to return a text at 5, 6, 7 a.m., right? So I can be selfish. You've heard me say this before. Be selfish with your morning so you can be selfless the rest of the day.
Yeah. So there's just not as many distractions because, I mean, hate to say it, not a lot of people wake up early.
Right.
You know, so you are one of the only ones up. It's hard to get up, don't get me wrong, but if you prioritize and make the time, you can become a morning person.
Yes, you can. You know? I don't enjoy waking up early, but it's something I got to do.
And if you need some pre-workout to help you out, go for it.
Amen.
You know, that's what people love coffee for.
Yeah. So first one, wake up early. The second one builds right off of that is you have to time block your day. It's the part where you actually have to put stuff in your schedule, but you put when you're actually doing it. I do it one in two ways. I have actually scheduled events, obviously, but then what I do is I use the reminders on my phone, just real practically speaking. And what I'll do is bite off the biggest bits of the elephant first, right? Yeah. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You start with the big bites. Yeah. And so early in the morning that I can give my biggest attention to, when I get in the office, my to-dos are starting at 8:30 a.m. And I move up the night before, and we'll get into that in a minute, the things that I have to do when I get in to that 8:30 block. And then I give myself, depending on everything that I have to do, a certain amount of time to accomplish those to-dos at 8:30. That's time blocking, right? And then after that 8:30 part, I'll put the rest of my to-dos that I know are just not the same importance as the first things I got to get. And so, it's just important that you're using this time blocking wisely, because if you're going a million different directions, like we kind of alluded to earlier, you're never going to actually finish that task, or it's going to actually take you longer, and you're going to be less efficient.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a hot topic with some people who just don't believe in it,
right,
which I can get because you feel so just structured. It doesn't allow for flexibility. I would argue you can schedule your
exactly
your time.
Schedule your flexibility.
Yeah, even if it's like, hey, this is the time I'm going to check my social media. do that.
Yeah, I think that's the big point. One of the things that I had the hardest time with this, with time blocking and scheduling, like if it's not in my schedule, it doesn't exist. For some reason, when I really started to dig into my efficiency and stuff, I felt bad putting like date night in the schedule or like time with Courtney in the schedule. And then when like Courtney's got her own things, I felt bad putting like guy time in the schedule, guy time with my boys. But putting it there shows the importance that it plays in my life.
Right.
And so like if I already know that Friday night I've got date night scheduled, I've time blocked it essentially, then nothing else is happening. It's already in the schedule. So, and the boys, they've grabbed it. Like if mom's got to go off and do something, they're like, oh, guy time. And it's just us.
Yeah.
You know, so block it all.
And, you know, at the end of the day, we are not Zuckerberg or Gary Vee. So like they have insane time blocks of everything. But one thing to mention, whatever time you allow yourself to do something, that's the time that you're going to take to do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be necessarily an hour. Like when you say, hey, we're going to meet for an hour. If you say time block an hour, you're going to do an hour. Don't be afraid to do 15 minutes, 20 minutes, little time blocks, right? Because you can, if you know you only have 15 minutes, you're probably going to be a little more efficient with your time.
Yeah. That's good.
Next one, extreme. I told you we're going practical here. This is something that I'm pretty proud of. I do this pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Sorry, English Nazis. And that's meal prep, right? Meal prep. And I'm not even saying like, hey, you have to like have healthy meals, which that's preferred. But healthy meals, you got your macros, your calories. No, it's all about meal prepping in the sense of eliminating decision making.
Yes,
you're not waking up saying, "What am I going to eat? I'm gonna," and then I got to cook it. Right? If you have it ready to roll, how much time are you saving?
Yes.
So that plus lunches. So many. I've been in so many different real estate offices. How many people? It's 12 o'clock. What do you want for lunch? I don't know. Let's go drive here and get. Like you are wasting so much time thinking about it, driving to it, eating it, driving back. If you have it ready to roll, and I'm not saying like, hey, sometimes lunches are great to nurture relationships and hang out with people. But if you don't have plans, meal prep your stinking meals.
Not to mention the money that it saves.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I hope that I never get too big where I come in with my little Tupperware and I'll go to grandma's house once a week and she usually has 1 or 2 leftovers for dinner and that's going to be part of that meal plan for the week.
Every Saturday, there's a place, it's actually down the street, Freshter. It was Greenhearts.
Yeah.
Greenheart meal? Yeah. But on Saturdays, their meals are reduced price. So I go every Saturday. I go there and I get my breakfast and lunch.
Oh, that's cool.
For at least Monday through Friday. Sometimes I'll get a little extra for dinner, but dinner's like family time, so I can't really do that as much.
Right.
But meal prepping has saved me so much time and so much money.
Yes.
Very, very practical.
Yes.
Another very practical thing, which we're talking about, eliminating your decision making. Plan out. Brandon has this problem. He's a very big fashionista.
Yeah.
Plan out your clothing the night before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Brandon is often waking up saying, do I want to wear this shirt or these pants?
I think it's fitting with your just plain black shirt on right now, too.
I'm kidding. But yeah, if you know, some people struggle with this more than others, but in the mornings you're trying to figure out what to wear, what shirt, what pants, is it dirty, is it clean? That's wasting time in the morning that you could be spent with your family or getting to where you need to go sooner.
Yeah, it's huge. Like even just the simplest thing, looking at it the night before, my thing is like, oh, it's like, man, I want to wear that shirt tomorrow, but it's not ironed. If you took the time to do that in the morning, to switch outfits, to this, to that, oh, it's not ironed. Well, while you're sitting there at night watching TV with your boo, sit there and be ironing your shirt, you know, and getting it ready for the next day, picking out your outfits. It's the simplest thing to do, but it saves you so much time.
And again, we're no Zuckerberg or like those people, but if you look at them, they're wearing very simple, basic tees all the time because in the mornings they don't want to have to make decisions of what they're going to wear. They know oftentimes it's the same thing every day.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah. A little practical, but go for it.
It's huge. Well, and the next thing is super practical as well, is do your best to eliminate distractions, right? And it sounds self-explanatory, but really from a practical standpoint, I was just doing this earlier this morning. This will come out a couple weeks later, but it was at the end of the month. I was paying office bills and some personal bills. And so I had to close out my email tab. I closed out my social media tab. I closed out everything else. And I'm like, I am paying bills for the next 30 minutes, right? And then pulled everything back up. We got to eliminate distractions. It's okay to check social media. It's okay to do these different things. But what I do is I have those time restrictions on all of those different apps. And it's like, man, do you need that much time on those throughout the course of the day? No, you don't. If you have to focus on a project, close out the other tabs, close out the other distractions, and just focus on one thing at a time. Got to get rid of those distractions.
And especially with our roles of being leaders, people are expecting a lot of us you kind of have to set, well, you do have to set expectations to your agents of, hey, I'm available for questions during this time. Otherwise, how many times you can get ahead in your office? Hey, you got a second?
Yep.
You got a second? You got a second?
All the time.
Those seconds lead to minutes. It leads to so much. Not that we're not willing to help, but of course we got to, we got stuff to do, and it can be distracting.
Tuesdays is our office meeting day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got all 20 of us in there on a Tuesday. And Tuesday, I'll carve out time in the morning to get as much work done as I can. And then when we get out of that meeting at 11, it just happened this past Tuesday, where I had to say, hey, guys, y'all going to have to give me about 30 minutes. I got 2 inspection responses that I'm negotiating right now before you come in the office. When we were finishing that meeting, because I knew immediately with everybody there in the office, it was going to be boom, 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 boom. And I asked for it. I'm not complaining about it, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I just had to set that expectation. Give me 30 minutes, distraction free. Let me figure this out. Then I'll give you my attention.
Yep. You got to set the expectations and do the practical things. Like even shooting this podcast, we have our phones on Do Not Disturb.
Yep.
Like that's something that could pop up and totally distract us. So clutch.
Yes.
Next one, it's going to seem very real estate specific, but it can go for a lot of different industries, and that is to use a CRM. And if you're not familiar with what that means, it's client relationship management. That is where your entire database is of your sphere, of your leads, so to say. But the goal and the point of those is to help you use your time more efficiently. You can set reminders. You can set drip campaigns to like automatically send emails for you. It's just the whole goal is to help you stay organized. And if you're organized, then you're going to feel a little more time.
Right.
You know?
And you're like you said, it carries over in all types of different industries.
Yeah.
Tons of different platforms out there that you can use that for your business.
It's funny because we've heard CRM so much in real estate, and I heard somebody else in a different industry. I don't even know, but it's sales, and they said they had a CRM. I was like, whoa.
Wait, y'all have that too?
Thought that was just real estate. No, it is a very common thing for all industries.
Yeah.
Next one, I don't even know what number we're on.
I'm not sure yet, but that's
see.
okay. Hopefully y'all are keeping track.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7th.
Number 7.
Sorry, guys. We want you to stay organized with us. That is to delegate and get leverage.
Yes.
It took me way too long in my real estate career to realize I don't need to be doing every single task.
Yep.
There was a point where I had so many pending deals, not in a bragging way, but
wow.
I had
so many
I can't even
deals.
remember how many, so many. But I'm like, man, I'm spending every day doing these very tedious tasks. I'm not doing things like some of this stuff can be done by someone straight out of high school that does not take expert level knowledge to do these things.
Yep.
So it took me a while, but I finally got someone to take those tasks off of my plate.
Right.
And we talked a little bit about it a couple episodes ago, delegation. Like you're giving tasks that you don't necessarily have to do to someone else. Not only tasks, but authority.
Yes.
So yeah, learn to, and I know everyone's resources and funds are different on what you pay them. That's totally just how you grow your business, right? Yeah. But it's important to see those things not as what's this going to cost me, but what is it going to give me in return, like an investment.
Yeah, we talked about that. Changing your mindset in leadership from an expense to an investment, because it really is one.
Yes. So get leverage, get help to take those things off your plate, because what's that going to do? It's going to give you more time.
Yep, that's right. So number 8 is email templates.
Yes.
With email templates, I'd kind of put in there as well text templates or text shortcuts. I find myself, I have email templates, and that kind of plays in with my CRM, but the text shortcuts is massive, right? I have this iPad here, if you're watching us, and the reason I actually got it was because of the lengthy text that we send often is I needed to be able to type them as opposed to type them on my phone.
Yeah.
But some of the text that we send continuously or normally, like just put those text shortcuts in your phone and it cuts out time, where if it's something that you're sending all the time and it's lengthy, why do that when you could just have one word and it autofills in everything else? So, you can even put, like my email templates have 90% of the information filled out, but then they've got some blanks that each time I have to go in there and populate because it changes.
Yeah, some people are opposed to these because you feel like you lose a little personal touch, but by all means, it's still much shorter of a time to pull up the template, tweak it how you need it,
make it personal.
So many times too, I'd be showing a house, especially during COVID, like when things were just moving and grooving, but they'd say, hey, we want to make an offer. What do you need from us? I go get in my truck, and I type up, I'll send you what I need. I type it all up, and I'm like, why am I doing this over and over again?
Yes.
So, again,
this is text
shortcut, copy and paste from notes, whatever works for you. Boom. And they're always like, whoa, that was quick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Like, I'm ready to go. Stay strapped.
Yes. Number 9. Batch similar tasks.
It's big.
And if you're not familiar with what that means, it's becoming a lot more popular because people are seeing how much time it saves them. But that is if you have a task that you see yourself doing repeatedly or different times of the week, the month, you can do it all at once. Right. So a very practical example for our team, we batch shoot a lot of content videos.
Right.
I don't know where, I feel like I'm looking at different cameras here. That's the one I'm looking at, right?
Big
Where we batch shoot all of our videos in the sense we get together for 2 hours, we shoot a crap ton of videos, and that way we have videos for the rest of the month.
Right.
So if you do that, it eliminates the time of, I got to post a video today. Let's come up with the idea. Let's shoot it. Let's post it. Like, how much time is that wasting you during that day?
Yes.
Even if you have nothing else to do, could you be doing your time more wisely?
It's huge.
I also send out, like, to our past clients, birthday cards or something. Like, it doesn't have to be every week.
Right.
Write the card.
Right.
It can be, hey, let's fill out the whole one time a month. Do it, and they're ready to
This
roll.
is the time.
So
Exactly.
any tasks that you see yourself doing repeatedly, can you batch those things together?
It's just efficient.
Yep.
It's just efficient. And you got to find yourself to create more time.
Yep.
And that's a way to create more time. And this is a big part of creating more time. Number 10, the last one. We've kind of talked about it a little bit before, but prep the day the night before, right? For me, it's when I get into the driveway, because usually I have appointments when I leave the office before I get home, is when I get into the driveway, I'm going to look at the to-do list that I've already got set for the next day, look at the time blocking that I have set, and I'm going to make sure it's all there. I'm going to make sure it's all scheduled, and I am prepared for the day before. I'm prepared for the day that's to come the night before.
Yep.
And I also like to do it to not take away time from my family time. So before I walk in the house, I like to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Right? Preparation is everything, man. It's
is.
easier said than done, but taking that time in advance saves you time in the future.
And I feel like a lot of these things are very, like, we can give you advice on how to do things, and it's like, well, that sounds good in theory, but I do feel like a lot of these things are extremely practical and easy to do that you may not have thought of.
Right.
So now that you have those 10 ways, you have no reason to say, I just don't have enough time in the day.
Yep.
Right?
If it's easy to do, it's just as easy not to do it.
Nah, yeah.
Right? And so it's like, we got to do it.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
And, everyone's jobs and family and situations are different.
Yeah.
Right? But these are things I feel like if you don't have to do all of them, but some of them could help.
That's right. Yeah. And time's the great equalizer. Like when somebody says, I just don't have time for it, what they're really saying is, it's not that important to me.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Because we make time for what's most important to us. And so we just got to really be careful to make the time for the things that are most important to us. Got to prioritize.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else you want to add?
What's your favorite of these?
My favorite, and I think it's because it stuck with me, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of caught me, and it was planning out my clothing the night before. You talked about me being a diva, and it hit me because I was like, man, it wasn't that long ago, like a month ago, I was sitting there. I remember ironing out my outfits before, but this morning, getting ready for the podcast, I picked up 2 shirts. I was like, man, these aren't ironed. And I'm like, bro, if I just would have done it the night before.
It's tough.
I don't know why I fell through it.
You're winding down. Your kids are finally asleep. You're like, all right, now I get to just relax. Yep. The last thing you want to do is
I just stopped. That. I used to do it, and I used to do it consistently, and I don't even know when it fell off. But for some reason, for the last month, I have not been doing it. And so I need to get back on it. So thanks for that reminder.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
Hope you guys saw something there that you really needed to implement. And I'm sure you did. And so we'd love to hear about it. If you want to send us a message, comment on our YouTube, that would be wonderful. But, hey, we just thank you for watching. You really are a part of the family. We hope that you're growing with us because I know that this is challenging us and stretching us. Again, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
See ya.